And is this meeting in translation?
Yes, we do have translators here tonight.
Okay, awesome.
Let's see if that's better. No, too bright.
One, two. Hey, at everybody. So it is 7 o'clock. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order, the regular meeting of the Azusa Unified School District Board of Education.
Son las 7 p.m.
And item 4.0, we'll start with the flag salute.
Vamos a empezar con el saludo de la bandera.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and then we will go to our roll call. Board Member Rodriguez Peña.
Present.
Board Member Greer.
Presente.
Here.
Board Member Shiloni.
Here.
Board Member Arianis.
I'm present.
And I am here. Okay, now we'll move on to approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion on the floor?
Make a motion to approve.
I second.
Motion by Board Member Rodriguez Peña, seconded by Board Member Arianis. Any discussion? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Are we having technical difficulties? Okay, is it anybody getting the vote on their screen?
No.
Okay, I wanted to make sure it wasn't just me. So what we'll do, we'll just go ahead and do a hand vote with this. So everybody in favor?
Yes.
This is 5-0. All righty. So now we will move on to item 5.0. Items from the floor, public comment on agenda or non-agenda items. 5.1, this is an opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda or non-agenda items. No action can be taken on non-agenda items. Individual speakers may be allowed up to 3 minutes to address the board on any agenda or non-agenda item. To address the board, please raise your hand while in Zoom attendance.
Okay,
And
one so far.
where do our people go? Okay, so we have one person.
Amber Moore, you can unmute your mic.
Here we go. Welcome, Amber.
Hello, I accidentally hit raise my hand. I'm sorry, but didn't mean to do that. I was trying to do my TV and my phone at the same time. So I really don't have anything to address the board except I'm happy to be here watching tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, anybody else? Okay, it looks as though we don't have any. So we'll move on to item 6.0, comments and requests by the board. So Board Member Greer.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. Just a quick update on a couple things. One, there was recently an additional ad hoc conversation that happened between the City of Azusa, their ad hoc committee, and our ad hoc committee, which consists of me and Board Member Rodriguez Pena. And so again, was grateful to be there in on the conversation, talking about a number of issues concerning around what the district is doing and what the plans are moving forward. Same thing with here in the city with the COVID testing center and just a number of things that were discussed. And so just grateful to our counterparts at the city and the ways that we continue to collaborate together. Also want to report out that I did hold another online coffee and just wanted to share, there was just over 30 parents, teachers, classified employees that were there. And there were a number of things that were discussed. A lot of things that were discussed had to do with returning, as you can imagine, returning to school. And there were a number of questions that came out. Just want to share just a couple themes. I mean, there were questions around communication and expectations around frequency and channels of communication, especially going into the school year and once the school year starts, so that there is understanding there. And so, I wonder if it's helpful to have that communicated out in such a way so that parents know, what to, especially parents, but even some staff members were communicating, that it would be good to know where and when to expect different means of communication. Of course, there were some parents who were sharing bits of frustration that they still were unaware of what the plan was for even just later this week. And another thing that came up was talking about devices and devices that the kids use. So if they, in my home, my daughter, she had a Chromebook, so she didn't need to go and get one from the district. However, there came to my, one thing I learned last night is that some students have Chromebook or use other devices such as Xboxes to have their classes. I didn't even know that was possible, but there are some teachers who communicated that it's a challenge when the Xbox is that the device that they're using. So is there any way to kind of assess for us to help parents and students determine if they believe that they have a device that's adequate, for us to still make some recommendations around what devices might be even more adequate, just to kind of make sure that it's equal there across the board. And one other thing, just I know that we're going into this distance learning season, and I think it would be helpful. I know that we had this at the end of the school year, that in each of our board meetings there was a COVID-19 update kind of item that was there, and it allowed for there to be some space to discuss some things. And so I'm going to request that at least for the next handful of meetings, that it would be helpful to have that there to allow there to be some space to have these conversations, as there will certainly be obstacles that present themselves as we move forward. That's all I have.
Hey, thank you, Board Member Greer. Next, Board Member Sheila Neem.
Thank you. I don't have anything to report, but I think in terms of requests, I do have a couple. One relates to looking at this upcoming year and keeping track of information and having, I guess it runs parallel to Adrian's comment in terms of having something on the agenda, but I also think that we need to be, it would be good if we could be reporting out items. For example, like I appreciated that Ally Unified would report on a weekly basis how many students were not, they reported how many were checking or how many were not checking in. I only saw because it showed up in articles in the newspaper, but thinking about how we can get regular reports like that, and just in terms of how things are going. I appreciated last time the anecdotes of having specific examples, right? But I think looking at aggregate as well, so we have a good sense of how things are functioning, I would appreciate. I also would like to request regular, at our meetings, maybe we can have regular updates in terms of the committee that we're putting together, so that once we are able to come back in person, whether it's through a waiver process for our elementary kids, whether it's through this new process the state just put out about you can actually, even in a county like ours, could consider bringing back small groups of students of high need. at this, I mean, right away. It's unclear what that will look like, but in terms of those pieces so that we can understand the planning, so that, because I know all of us are eager to do it safely, but be able to get back to in-person instruction. Obviously safety comes first. So those are my 2 requests. And I just look forward to the beginning of the school year. Let's see how it goes. Oh, and then Colleen, thank you. I think this is your last board meeting with us, so thank you.
Mhm. And thank you, Board Member Shilonine. Board Member Arianes.
Hello, everyone. I would like to, I don't have anything to report, but I would like to speak out to all of the teachers and all of the students and parents and administration that have been getting ready to start this school year. And I want to wish you guys luck. And I know it's still something that it's a work in progress, but I wish you guys much success and can't wait for school to start. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Arianes. Board Member Rodriguez Peña.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I just want to welcome everyone back to school, our new school year for teachers, parents, and students. I know it's going to be a different kind of a school, but I just welcome everyone back and good luck and God bless to everyone. And I want to thank Colleen also. You did a very fine job, Colleen. Thank you for your service. I went to the, well, I didn't go anywhere, I'm sorry. Online, the Zoom, the special ed meeting they had with the parents. And I want to thank Erin Kramer, Dana Mitchell, Dr. Dana Mitchell, and Mr. Creel. They did a fine job answering questions to parents of students that are special education. And I believe they had a really good turnout, as we did in the last parent meeting they had, discussing the different options that they have when their children are going to return to school. I also went to the school site visitation, the school bond, and I visited the new parking lot at Gladstone Street School, which is now the adult school. Very nice, very clean. Did a good job on that. That is already completed. And I also went to the Gaston High and Azusa High School gyms and their fields. They're turning out really beautiful. I wanted to thank Mr. Ortega and Darren Howard, Maria Elena Romero for the tour. It was very emotional to see all these jobs that are being flourishing in the high schools, in the gyms. They're coming out really beautiful. And I want to thank the Azusa community, also the Covina unincorporated area, for putting out their vote on the Measure K. Former board member Burke Hamilton would be delighted to see the gym, because this was one of his babies. This is one of his big things that he wanted to see, was bleachers in the gym. I hope when they're done that we can invite him so he can take a look at what he started, because that's what he really wanted to do. And in my first term as a school board member in 2011, Chilolín Cruz Gonzalez, Rosie Garcia, Dr. Barbara Dickerson, and Burke Hamilton, they all were very instrumental in putting this school bond on the ballot. And now I would like to, if they're able to come back and see how this all started. Mr. Hamilton was always talking about the benches, about the bleachers. So we need to continue to give our community what was promised to them in 2014. Students and staff deserve to have a clean, nice environment to work and to play. And it also brings up the morale of AUSD. I want to also speak about the new COVID-19 test sites. It's located at Memorial Park North. They test from Tuesday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And you need an appointment. You dial 211, or you can go online, COVID-19 lacounty.gov/testing. I would like to thank Supervisor Hilda Solis, 1st District, Azusa Mayor Robert Gonzalez, and the City Council for making it possible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Peña. And I'd like to, well, since school is starting this week, welcome back, everybody. And we're going to see what we're going to get. That's the cool thing about this. It's been organized. You guys have done so much work compared to what I've seen, even with my son in Iowa, what they're doing. I showed him your stuff and he's like, they're all over it. The communication, I've had many compliments on the communication that has been going on and how much it's improved and how much better it is. So thank you very much for everybody helping out with that. And let's see how we go this week. All right. So with that, we'll move on to item 7.0, comments and reports by cabinet and the superintendent. So Arturo, it is up to you.
Thank you, Board Member Bibles Vogel. First and foremost, I want to wish everyone a great first day, like no first day that we've ever had before. As a parent of 3 children, all girls, 2 of which are in elementary school right now, I know how nerve-wracking and uncertain this opening can be for some of us, because the first time that we're going through this. As a dad, I have had to practice patience and perseverance as my daughter's school did the best that it could to launch this week. I want to assure you that our staff, from the front office staff to teachers, from custodians to principals, from nutrition services to counselors and everyone in between, everyone is working hard to make this opening as smooth and as successful for you and for your students. In the next couple of days, we will continue to communicate information to you as we get ready to launch. On Monday, we held our Support for Success virtual conference. It was the teachers' first day back. And I don't want to take the thunder away from Dr. Mitchell, so I'm just going to say that I thoroughly enjoyed popping into the sessions throughout the day and seeing staff engage in professional learning that was riddled with options for teachers as they kind of chose their own adventure on what it is that they wanted to explore. I want to thank Dr. Mitchell and all of the staff that came together to make this happen. It was a tremendous conference with lots of offerings, and it took a lot of people to sign up and to say we're in. So just want to say thank you for that. As Board Member Greer stated, myself, him, and Board Member Rodriguez Pena, I too am thankful for the ad hoc committee and the open lines of communication that we have between the city and the district. I do have just a quick clarification. I definitely heard Board Member Greer, and I think I heard Board Member Cruz Gonzalez echo, but I just want to be clear. So beginning September 1st, which I believe is our next board meeting, the request is that at every board meeting, we have a line item, COVID-19 update or reorganization or
Reimagining.
opening schools or whatever. But the request is that happen at every board meeting until further notice. Is that what I'm hearing?
I do believe so. Yes, thank you.
Okay. That's it for me. Thank you so much.
Dr. Dana Mitchell.
Good evening. Yesterday, we hosted our Support for Success virtual conference for our certificated staff's first day back. We had over 450 participants in attendance. We offered 4 different sessions throughout the day, and we had over 80 breakouts covering a variety of topics, from supporting distance learning to supporting our students' social and emotional health as well. We've had lots of really awesome emails and feedback from many of the participants who really appreciated just the wide variety of options that we offered that really allowed our staff to be able to choose the sessions that they felt were most meaningful for them. We had many people come together, our AUSD staff at both the sites and the district, as well as several of our community partners as well, who really came together to very intentionally planned these breakout sessions. And I just want to say how much I'm just thankful for all of the planning that went into this, all of the presenters that planned each one of the sessions. So thank you so much to everyone who participated. It was a Herculean effort that actually we began planning early in the summer. And so I'm very, very grateful again to everyone who really gave their time and expertise to each one of the sessions. So thank you so much. And then the last thing, I am incredibly grateful and excited to announce that the Azusa Unified School District has received a Canyon City Foundation Award for $35,000. And this award is to provide internet access to families who are not able to get connected to our internet. And so we are extremely thankful and grateful for this, but I did want to announce it tonight. We did receive the letter and the check today. And of course, we will be more on this as at another board meeting, but I did want to bring this up and again, just say how grateful we are for the Canyon City Foundation for their generous donation and support of our families in Azusa. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ronquillo.
Thank you, Board President Bibles Vogel. Very happy to be here. I have a couple reports that I want to share with the board and the community. Last Thursday, we held our new teacher orientation via Google Meets. This is a wonderful event that Azusa is committed to providing every year. This year, of course, was a very different platform. Normally we have everybody all together and they're able to see us formally, but this was still a very nice event, and we're able to formally welcome our newest teachers to this great district. So I'm very happy about that event. On Friday of last week, we held a substitute training, and I want to applaud the work of our TOSAs and also the work of Melissa Vera from the Human Resources Office, who were able to organize and help our substitute teachers receive training on how to navigate this new world of teaching in a remote distance learning platform. I was able to welcome the group. There was a lot of excitement and very happy to have our guest teachers participate in this event. And then lastly, I'd like to just thank our principals who really are doing a phenomenal job in preparing for a very, very, very different start of the school year. And I would say that every single one of our principals has really risen to the occasion to really support our staffs, to support students, and to support families. And it's just an honor to be able to work with such a fine group of leaders. And I also want to thank our bargaining unit leaders who have been great partners throughout this entire process. Thank you.
Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Ronquillo. Now, Ms. Patterson.
Just want to thank you all for allowing me to serve Azusa and your community. Many of you know this is not my first time in assisting Azusa through various stages of your growth. And it's exciting. It's exciting to see what you've taken on and the areas you're moving in. And it's always a pleasure to work with the directors. I've worked with all of your directors previously. And this cabinet is one of the deepest thinking, thoughtful, open cabinets that I have had the pleasure to serve on. And so thank you very much for letting me serve your community.
Thank you for all of your time, Ms. Patterson. Okay, so at this point, we'll move on to item 8.0, report action of closed session matters. There's nothing to report. So we'll move on to item 9.0, general functions. 9.1, nominations for CSBA directors at large, Asian, Pacific Islander, and Hispanic. And we all received the memorandum with the application form, and I do know that there's been some interest to Board Member Arianas to do the Hispanic, I assume.
That is correct.
Okay. Does anybody have any discussion or? So basically, what I'm assuming we need to do is vote if anybody has a problem with Gabby or Board Member Ariana's becoming one, or do we just, how do we go about this? I'll just be honest.
It's a nomination process, so we have to have a motion and second of nominating somebody, and then that
Okay.
name goes to CSBA, and then there's a nomination, there's a application process, and then eventually there's a vote at the delegate assembly of CSBA.
Okay, so is there discussion here or nomination?
Let's
So I
do
just
we
want
motion.
to let everyone know, so generally, I mean, usually the delegate assembly elects a delegate to that position, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have to be, so I'm not trying to discourage, I'm just saying normally usually that's what happens.
Okay. It would just be nice. Yeah, we'll just put her name in. Okay, Adrian, Board Member Greer.
Motion, do we need to motion?
Yes, I motion for Board Member Arianis to be nominated as our at-large member.
As a candidate for it.
Thank you, as a candidate.
And I would like to second that. Do we have any discussion? Okay, so let's take a vote. We are just having a glitch today, aren't we? Okay, do we know what the problem is, Arturo? Or is it just one of those days?
I am not sure. I'll look into it.
Okay, but we'll just do a hand vote. It's no big deal. So, Board Member Cruz Gonzalez,
Yes.
Board Member okay. Board Member Arianes?
Yes.
Oh, and do you accept it?
Yes, I accept. Thank you.
Okay, and Board Member Greer?
Yes.
And I saw Board Member Rodriguez Pena. Yes. And yes on me, so it passes 5-0, and we'll get started on, it looks like you have a lot of work to do there, Gabby. Or I'm sorry, Gabriella, Board Member Arianes. Because it looks like a nice long application. I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Okay, and so after that, we're moving on to consent item 10.0 consent calendar. 10.1, all matters listed under the consent calendar are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted by the board in one motion on the format following the last consent calendar agenda item. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time of the board staff or the public requests specific items to be discussed. If discussion is requested by a board member, that item will be removed from the consent calendar and it will be considered separately. The superintendent and staff recommend approval of all consent calendar agenda items. So do I have a, yes? Board member?
Excuse me. I like to pull item 10.15.
10.15?
Yes.
Okay. And anybody else? Okay, do I have a motion on the floor that all items but 10.15?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Shilonin, seconded by Board Member Greer. And now we can vote. Do we need a hand vote again? It looks like it's going to be a meeting of hand votes. So I'm just going to go through. Everybody raise your hands. Board
Yes.
Ms. Pena, yes.
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 Okay, and Board Member Greer? Yes, okay. So that passes 5-0, and now we'll move on to item 11.0 and 10.15 is now moved to be 11.1. Approval of amended board bylaws regarding board functions, BB 9000, role of the board, BB 9005, governance standards, BB 910, public statements, BB 911, disclosure of confidential privileged information, and BB 9012, board member electronic communications. Do I have a motion? Or shall we discuss it?
Have a discussion?
Go ahead.
Yeah, on the BB 9010, second page, where we had the second line we spoke about to add Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so forth. I wanted to add on there emails or text and text. That's all. I just want to add that addition, please.
Okay, sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
How does everybody else feel? Okay, do I have a motion on the floor?
A motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
motion by board member Ariana, seconded by board member Rodriguez Pena. And I don't even know if I want to even look and see if it'll pop up.
It's not coming up.
Not coming up. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, yes, board member Rodriguez Pena. Board
Yes.
member- And board member Cruz Gonzalez said yes, and board member Arianes, yes. Okay, so it passes 5-0.
Can I ask clarification on what we just passed right now? Did we pass the approval of these 5 board bylaws with the addition of email and text to page 2 of board bylaw 9010?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And next we move on to 12.0, Human Resources. 12.1, consider approval of consultant Carlos Gomez, resolution 2021-6. I have a motion. On the floor.
Second,
A motion, who motioned?
I believe, yeah, Yolanda.
Okay, board member Rodriguez Pena motion, seconded by board member Greer.
Jerry, you can call me Yolanda.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yolanda.
That's fine. Thank you.
No problem. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and, any discussion?
Yeah, I know that this was also in the consent calendar, but just waited to bring it up here. Can you just explain, so for the record out, who these consultants are and the great work that they have done and continue to do?
Sure, I certainly can. So we have in the consent calendar, we had Mr. Archuleta, who is the co-director of the mariachi program. And then we are welcoming Mr. Carlos Gomez, who will be our trumpet instructor for mariachi.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I have another question.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that. And do we have information on where Mr. Carlos Gomez is coming from?
Actually, Mr. Gomez, he was previously taught in this district. He's a credentialed music teacher. And so he's coming back to help us with our mariachi.
Thank you.
And actually, while we're here and on it, would you mind elaborating on how is that going to look this year?
Yeah, for mariachi?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to be having a parent meeting coming up that's going to be coming out. And the schedule is going to be very similar to what it was last year with the instructors, all 3 of them with the beginning and the advanced classes. So the schedule actually looks exactly the same as it did. It's just going to be in a virtual environment until it is safe to return to school.
Thank you.
Okay, so do I have a motion on the floor?
I think we have a motion in a second. and
Oh,
we can
motion in
vote.
a second already. All right, so we'll just vote. I'm sorry. Board member Yolanda, yes. Board member Greer, yes. Board member Arianes, yes.
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 All right, 5-0 passes. Now we'll move on to item 13.0, business and finance. Oh, there we go. Yay. Approval of contract with, item 13, business and finance. Item 13.1, approved contract with Security Services LLC, a New Star Company. Do I have a motion?
Motion to move 13.1.
Okay. Motion by Board Member Arias, seconded by Board Member Yolanda. Do we have any comments?
Can you please explain this item, please?
Yes, this is a contract, and what this company does is they provide domain name system hosting. And so what that does is it translates on the internet domain names to IP addresses, so the browsers are able to load the internet resources.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Is this, so I've noticed that since we've had our website changed, that the without the www, it doesn't seem to load. Is that this here, and does this address that, or is that something for a future conversation?
We can have Marvin give us a little more information on that one. Is Marvin?
Sure. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. That issue actually is with Blackboard. They allow us one certificate, the www one. They don't allow us the azusa.org. Also, so the Ultra DNS helps us with some of the others as far as translating, but we'll be talking with Blackboard to see if it's possible. And I think as long as you do without the secure part, if you do http://azusa.org, that will work. It's the secure one that we can't redirect to. And we'll be talking to Blackboard to see if we can get a second certificate.
Thank you.
Okay. No more discussion? Okay, Board Member Yolanda, how do you vote?
Yes.
Board Member Greer? Board Member Arias?
Yes.
Board Member Shilonin?
Yes.
Okay, and me too. So that passes 5-0. At this point, we are at adjournment. And we will adjourn at 7:36. That's like a miracle. Okay. Everybody have a good night.
Good night.
Night.